Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing.
I'm Devin. That's Zane. And this is Buffet Sports, where we talk about the NFL. We're going to go through and do a recap of week 8. I'm under the weather emotionally. Let's jump in.
All right, what did you say about your boys last week? You had a whole speech. What was the point that you were trying to come across? Something about how nobody wants your boys, but you want them. What was it? Can you remind me? Can you remind me what it was?
You're literally a Darnell Mooney merchant. That's it. That's it. If Darnell Mooney doesn't have 20, you're dog.
But here's the thing, Devin. Nobody wanted your guys, but you wanted them. You're gonna build it. You're gonna build something out of nothing. Here's the difference.
We almost did it.
Here's the difference.
We almost did it.
I got guys everyone wants. All right. I got guys people would chop off their leg for. That's what I got here. And what we did this week, we set a tone. Set a tone for the rest of the season.
Sure. You're gonna get in mollywop next week, bro. You're talking too much shit. You're gonna get killed next week.
Hey.
You're a Darnell Mooney merchant.
We set a tone.
You're a Darnell Mooney merchant.
So first off, if you don't know, you can't see it. That's 129 to 102. I played Devin this week. I won. He had some bad things happen. First off, we're going to the bench because it's so important being coachable, taking criticism, coming out the next week and getting better and doing better. With that being said, Marvin, I've said a lot about you, Marvin. You have officially won back your starting role as of this week.
That's a mistake. That's a fucking mistake.
You will be starting because you dropped 22 points on my bench. You officially are moving up.
Bro. I'll see you in the playoffs when you start, Marvin.
Puka, you have my number. You have my number, Puka. Couldn't have given me a call, given me a ring that you were going to play. Dropped 18 points on my bench again. Doesn't matter, though. Because we're going to get...
Doesn't matter, though.
So we're going to get into the big boys. First off, shout out Brock. All right, I benched you for Drake. Put you back in this week. You showed up with the legs, and you showed up in prime time. Joe Mixon, as always, greatest running back in the league, except for Derrick Henry, obviously. But besides Derrick Henry, you're the greatest running back in the league. Devontae Adams, I was listening to the guys in the front office. I wasn't focused on what I was seeing on the field and in the practices. I wasn't focused on that. I was focused on what everybody was saying. So I put him in instead of Marvin. And I got shit on. Devontae Adams dropping 9 points. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Now, to the game ball. The guy who gets it all. Darnell Mooney. Waiver pickup, baby. Waiver pickup. Dropping me 20 points again versus the Bucks. Absolutely insane. I was making breakfast. I was watching the game on the app. All of a sudden, 30-yard TD reception. I started dancing in the kitchen when I saw that. I was like, it's going to be a good day. And oh, yeah, it was a good day. David Njoku, we'll get to that game. Hell of a game. Hell of a player. Goddamn, you should have gotten the game ball because you're a goddamn tight end. Most athletic man on the field. Jordan Mason, you've officially lost your job. Yeah, I said it last week. This week, it's for sure. You're injury prone. You can't get anything working. The guy behind you just took your job. And what did you do? Can't have that on this team. And of course, Fiar Barn, being my secondary tight end, dropping 11 points. So congratulations to this team, setting the tone, whooping his ass. Let's go get another one.
Geno Smith wrote back, you're getting cut. Dak Prescott, the highest paid player in the NFL, you're getting cut. DJ Moore, you're getting traded. Debo, you're a pussy.
Wow.
That's about it. Everyone else showed up.
Hell yeah.
I don't even put that on, I don't even put the 8.3 on Ferguson. I put that on Dak. He was terrible tonight. He was absolutely atrocious. They were talking about on the broadcast, it would have been a bidding war for Dak. No, it wouldn't have. Geriatric Jerry literally has dementia, so that's why he paid him.
Yeah.
Dak is literally a CD merchant. You take away CD, and he's terrible. Dak Prescott should not be a starting quarterback in the NFL, dude. There's so many guys. There's so many guys that should that deserve a chance over Dak Prescott. He can't move. He just waddles around and he throws interceptions. He has 8 interceptions. It's week 8, bro. He had 9 last year. Last year, we were talking about how bad he was in terms of throwing picks, and he had 9 in the whole year. He's got 8. It's week 8. Pull it together, you piece of shit.
Damn.
That's it.
All right. Great start to the show. Let's kick it off to something a little bit more goofy. All right. Let's go to White Man of the Week. Very special White Man of the Week, because I saw something incredible happen this week.
It was also National Tight End Day, so you've got quite a bit to pick from.
White Man of the Week. I've been watching Jaden Daniels. All right.
No, Zane. No.
I've been watching.
I'm going to leave this meeting. I've been
watching Jaden Daniels.
I'm going to leave the meeting.
I don't care. I don't give 2 shits what
he's
you
not
think.
a white man, and he's not mediocre.
That
doesn't fit the criteria. That doesn't fit the criteria.
2 shits. I've been watching Jaden Daniels. He deserves an award, and I'm the man to give it to him. You know what? Talking all this crap, I'm not even going to say anything. Let's just watch it. Look at him scramble. 0 seconds on the clock. He's got 10 seconds in the goddamn pocket. How flippin' far was that?
No one can tell because you're standing in the way.
Oh, I am. I can't see myself.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels with the game winner. 0 seconds on the clock. Hail Mary. I've been watching Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels has been showing up. I don't give 2 shits if he's not a white man. If he's not a white. He's this week's White Man of the Week special award. Congratulations, Jaden. And you want to know something funny? That was his only passing TD. This Hail Mary right there. His only passing TD in this game. Going up against the guy who took his spot for getting drafted first overall. Thank God that happened, because he went to the Commanders and he's doing his thing. Putting in that work. Congratulations, Jaden.
Stained White Man of the Week.
I don't give 2 shits.
Stained White Man of the Week.
Don't give 2 shits.
Stained White Man of the Week. Stained White Man of the Week. I gave you the pass with Fier Barn. This is too far. This is too far.
What are you talking about?
He's not mediocre and he's not white. That's the whole point. It was literally fucking National Tight End Day. Do you know how many guys you could have picked from?
This is a special one, all right? There's still going to be a regular white man.
No, you could have given him the game ball.
He's not on my team.
No, you could have. We do normal game balls.
I could have, but he deserves more. He deserves more for that. He deserves more. That was
the Cardinals beat the.
Let's get into that.
The Cardinals beat the Dolphins. Tua survived the whole NFL game. Congratulations. You were talking shit about Kyler Murray last week, so he responded.
Yeah.
All right.
It's right here.
26 for 36, 307, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 5 rushes, 19 yards. All he does is run. Eat my dick.
Now, here's what
Trey
I will say.
No, shut your mouth.
All right.
Trey McBride, 9 receptions, 124 yards on National Tight End Day. That's a white man.
He is.
Marvin Harrison Jr., 6 receptions, 111 yards, 1 touchdown. Eat a dick.
Now, here's what I will say about Kyler Murray. For whatever reason, when he is getting interviewed about Marvin Harrison Jr. It pisses him off and it makes him throw to Marvin Harrison Jr. We had the week 1 and then week 2. No, we had week 1 where they're like, hey, you only threw him the ball 3 times. And then he goes out, gives Marvin 2 TDs. And then it was silent for a while. And then it starts rumbling again. And then he gets another interview question. How does it feel not being able to get Marvin the ball? So then he goes and he gives him 6 receptions, 111 yards, and a TD. I was wrong about Kyler Murray. He can sling that thing, but it appears he can only sling that thing when people are talking trash about him not being able to sling that
He had a bad week in COD, all right? He won a couple games this week, came back. Look, Tua's not going to make it through the rest of the year. Let's get that clear.
Bro,
the Cardinals are a playoff team. All right. And this is what a playoff team looks like here. 4-4, heading into week 9, clean slate. It's 0-0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Coming out 28-27. Big win.
Big
the
win.
Dolphins. The Dolphins.
Big win, but you got to give the Dolphins a little bit of credit here. This is Tua's first game back, and they almost beat the Arizona Cardinals. And you think they're a playoff team.
Look at the second half. Look at the second half. Look at that dominance. Look at that vitriol. Look at that.
They scored in all 4 quarters.
Look at the second half. Look at what the Cardinals did, putting up 21 in the second half.
The Dolphins put up 14. What are you talking about? It was a great game. It was a good game on both sides.
28-27. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Congratulations.
2-5.
Yes, congratulations to the Cardinals. Yeah, I was talking shit. You showed up against a very, very good Miami's defense when it comes to the pass. And I thought it was going to be a big game for Kyler running. He said, no, screw that. They're first overall in fantasy against the pass. Let's sling that thing. And he did. He did. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. All right.
All right, let's get a couple duds out of the way. Packers, Jags, 30-27. That's an embarrassment for the Packers. What are you guys doing? The Jaguars, you're going to play them to 3 points. To 3 points. It's an embarrassment. The next embarrassment, Jets, Pats. Retire.
My God.
Go retire, Aaron Rodgers. 22-25, and Drake May went down in like the third quarter. You guys are garbage. Yeah. You guys are a disgrace. I mean, it makes sense why you went to New Jersey, because New Jersey is just discount New York I wouldn't even put it in that way. All right. I wouldn't even put it in that way. It makes sense. It makes sense why Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets. All right. You guys are garbage. You guys aren't a playoff team. You should have kept Zach Wilson. You shouldn't have fired Robert Saleh. This is what you get for being the Jets. Okay. Doing Jets things.
Yeah. I don't think they can turn it around.
No. Drake May manhandled them. 22-25, that's a manhandling if you're the Patriots. With the lack of weaponry and the soft defense we were talking about, the Jets should be absolutely embarrassed with their tails tucked between their legs, and they shouldn't show up next Sunday.
And, because I was watching that game because I have Davante Adams on my team. Every single time there is an incomplete pass or there was a pass to Davante Adams, who the guy who was making the tackle, the guy who was breaking it up, Antonio Gibson. That's the guy that they have shadowed the number once. So it was a weird strategy that they had him on Davante because we all thought Davante was going to be the number 2. But it seems that if you shut down Davante Adams, it just turns back into the old Jets system.
Well, look, Garrett Wilson had triple-digit yards, but I mean, again, the running game was a mess. The defense is nothing. I don't know. The Jets are an embarrassment to football. What are we doing? What are we doing?
All right, another dumpster. This one is very much like the Jets and the Patriots that we were just talking about because it was another team that I thought could get back up on the saddle. That is Eagles-Bengals. And I was watching this game, and the Eagles flipping destroyed the Bengals. The Bengals look good, right? Joe Burrow looked good. It was a good
first half.
Yeah, it was. But I was looking at it. And when you go to the team stats, right, you look here, it's close all the way through. First downs, except for rushing. The third down efficiency, they're better. They're better. They're basically the same. So I was like, what's the reason why this is such a dominant game? Because you look at the stats, it's the same. Well, I did a little bit of digging. And in this game, The Bengals were in the red zone 9 times. The Bengals only scored 3 times. 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal. So that means that there's 6 times they got to the opponent's red zone with Jamar Chase, with T. Higgins, and they can't
T. Higgins was out.
Oh, T. Higgins was out.
So what this tells us is that Joe Burrow's just a T. Higgins merchant.
You and merchants today, dude.
I mean, this week was literally a trap week. We looked down the slate and we're like, everything makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then this happens, bro. Also the Bengals are another team that shouldn't show up next Sunday. They should be embarrassed. 3-5. Playoff hopes are completely gone now.
Yeah.
I could have given them the benefit of the doubt at 4-4, coming into it, looking like the Cardinals kind of situation, but the defense is just too soft. If the Eagles dismantle you 37-17, you have problems.
Yeah,
because as soon as the Eagles run into any team with a touch of competence and a coach that doesn't have autism, they're going to get smacked.
Yeah. And if you remember when we were making predictions for this, I was like, okay, both really bad defenses. This is going to be like the Bengals offense is going to kill the Eagles.
It's supposed to be a fun game that like shootout.
It was not the case. It's just because in the red zone, the Bengals can't get it done. And it's not that the Eagles defense has gotten better. They're still the same. It's just for whatever reason, without Joe Mixon, they just can't. It's not clicking like it used to.
I don't even think it's Joe Mixon. I think it's just the window's closed. Like what they were doing, who they were. Joe Burrow's not the same. I don't know what it is. He's just not the same. The next one we can look at. Shout out Baker for putting up a fight against the Falcons.
Oh yeah.
He didn't get the job done, but he showed he's not just a weapons merchant. If he has either guy in this game, they win easily.
Yeah. 37 for 50, 330.
Honestly, you take away his interceptions, they probably win this game. The turnovers, 3-2. He's been really turnover prone, but I mean, you take those away, and the guys, like, they're in that game. He was throwing the ball all over. 50's a little high, but they were down, so it makes sense. But
yeah, and it's weird that Kirko has the Bucs number, right? Another crazy game, 23 for 29, 276 yards and 4 TDs. That's insane.
Well, they've got a really good defense. I don't think it's Kirk has their number. I think it's their defense is really good. They were kind of an underrated defense coming into it, but I mean, Kirk played well. I'm not saying that Kirk didn't play well, but I think it's less of that and more so the Falcons defense, that if they're able to make a playoff spot, it's because of them.
Alrighty. Let's get into our new segment.
Wait, no.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah, wait. You pulled out the thing. I think I know what you're going with. Go ahead.
Dumpster Bowl. Dumpster Bowl of the week. Now, this one hurts a little bit. Really does. Really does hurt. But I have found a new associate for Dumpster Bowls, right? It makes my job easier because I just have to follow one team around and then they give me a Dumpster Bowl. Unfortunately, it was against my Titans.
Hey, shout out for putting up 14 points.
Shout out. Yeah, I was surprised.
Cowboys couldn't do that, though. Yeah, the Cowboys couldn't do that. So, I was literally looking at the score and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But 52-14. And there was 13 minutes left in the third quarter. I text you. I'm like, it's 41-7 right now, or it's like 41-14. Like, what's happening right now? This is absolutely insane. Shout out, again, Mr. MVP himself, Jared Goff, having an even crazier stat line than last week.
I know. I was looking at this and I couldn't make sense of it. 12 for 15, 85 yards, 3 touchdowns. That makes zero sense. But I was like, all right, the running backs just carried this game. Hey, I love Dan Campbell's mentality. We're not going to stop. We're in the NFL. This isn't a charity game. We're not playing in the Special Olympics. You came to play. We're in the NFL, and we're going to play, what is it, 15-minute quarters or 12-minute quarters?
15 quarters.
We're going to play 60 minutes of football, and you're going to get this, shoved in your face, dude, for 60 minutes. All right? I love it. It's my favorite thing. Dan Campbell, there's no rivalry with the Lions and Dan Campbell. He just hates the league. And
Yeah,
I
he
love
just
it.
hates everyone.
I love it. I
Yeah,
absolutely
shout
love it. Everyone can catch a stray. There's no one that can't catch a stray. I love it.
And this is this is the Tennessee Titans, by the way. And you would think that like once they're up, maybe they would try and like, get a couple linemen in. But no, they did run a trick play. But they had David Montgomery throw a TD pass to Sam Laporta. It's absolutely bonkers.
You know that David Montgomery was a quarterback in high school.
He was. I did not
He
know
was.
that. It
He
makes
was.
sense.
They were talking about it after the game. And I'll send you the video. Sam Laporta's voice is mad sus, dog. It's so sus. I'll send you the video, but I was like, he's got to be acting. There's no way that's like his normal speech pattern and like voice. There's no way.
Yeah, but shout out both of the RBs. We made a parlay last night and we put both RBs anytime touchdown. I believe that passing touchdown counted, did it not?
Well, David Montgomery had a rushing touchdown.
Oh, he also, yeah, silly me. Of course,
Yeah.
he also had a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The parlay didn't hit, but yeah.
No, it didn't.
No.
Son of a bitch. But it sucks. It really does suck. It was against my Titans. And Will Levis wasn't on the field.
Dude, 85, Jared Goff threw for 85 yards and they dismantled the team. They've got to be the best team in the NFL.
They are. I don't think it's a debate anymore. I think they
like
have
the Chiefs are undefeated, but it was 27-20 against the Raiders.
Yeah. Like they like we said, there are winning moments.
Start to finish.
The Lions are winning games. Entire
start
games.
to finish.
The Lions are winning hours, minutes. They're winning every point.
It was 52-14 and they didn't score in the fourth quarter. They pitched a second half shutout. Dude, it's uncalled for. It's so uncalled for, and I enjoy it so much.
I feel like I got stabbed, but it's so hilarious. That Jared Goff stat makes no sense. It seems the less he throws, the better the team is. And that's not even a shot at Jared Goff. That is just a praise to everyone else on that team. Whoever their offensive coordinator is.
That parlay didn't hit because Amon-Ra didn't have any yards. That's why. I just remembered. He had like 2 receptions. Last game. Let's talk about the sightless wonder.
Yeah.
My Will Levis, the greatest quarterback of all time, Mr. 30-30, didn't throw an interception today. Some call him, I'm not even going to fuck around here. Let's clap it up, Jameis.
Hey.
27 for 41, 343, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Demantling what I believe is the second best team in the NFL in the Ravens. 29-24. Xavier Tillman, I think is his first name. No, Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman, 7 receptions, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, just Jameis. Did you watch the video I sent you before the game where Jameis was absolutely locked in?
He was locked.
This guy's a walking meme. I love him to death. I'll throw the video up here because it's just pure comedy. The guy is just a walking. I am so excited for the next couple of weeks because he might produce moments better than Will.
Yeah, he might. But he looked great this week, except for he threw it to Kyle Hamilton. He just threw it directly out of Kyle Hamilton, fumbled it. But as beyond that, Cedric Tillman, you will be receiving a letter in the mail from my organization this week. Around Wednesday, when we're allowed to submit waivers, you will be receiving a letter for sure. 7 receptions, 99 yards, 2 TDs. David Njoku is back. I am making a prediction for fantasy really quick. By the end of the year, he will finish as number 1. He's going to be the number 1 spot for fantasy points for tight ends. That's what I'm predicting.
Bust.
He's been ever since he's been back, and as long as Jameis is the quarterback, he's going to have a touchdown a game. He's going to have a touchdown a game.
Bust.
But what does this say about the Ravens now? Because they just lost to one of the worst teams in the league.
They just didn't get up for the game. Like they came off of a Bucks win in which they weren't serious towards the end of the game. Not to say like when you were watching the game on the broadcast, they were all just screwing around on the sideline, not not locked in. It's not, I get it. They were up by like 30. So I'm not saying that they, enjoy the win, whatever, but they didn't come ready to play. They didn't take the Browns seriously at all. And the Browns, look, I'm not going to say it. The Lord's work. The Lord's work took place, and the
Bro.
Browns rallied around Jameis Winston or Jameis Winston. Winston? I can't say
Yeah,
his last
Winston.
name for some reason.
Yeah,
Winston.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. And they rallied around him. The Browns defense came to play. They looked like, now I know they gave up 24 points, but look, if Jameis is going to put up 29, that's enough. They
Yeah.
did what they needed to do to win. And Chubb is back. So they're not only rallying around Jameis, but also Chubb is back. So they're going to rally around him. The Ravens just didn't get up for the game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hang my hat on this. The
Yeah.
Browns aren't going to turn around their season. This doesn't mean anything for me with the Ravens. Also at the very end of the game, I don't know if you watched it, but uh, Rashad Bateman literally got hit in the face with the ball and dropped it, which would have set up the field goal or set up at least a good chance at them actually scoring, the Ravens
Mhm.
scoring at the end of the game. And he just straight up got like literally ball in his face mask right here. It was in his hands and he
Yeah.
just dropped it. So I don't put much on this really. Great
Yeah.
win for the Browns. Great
If
upset
you
win for the Browns.
if
But
you look at the stats really quick, third down efficiency, they went 2 for 10, and then fourth down they went 0 for 2. So it just seemed to be just one
they
of
just
those
weren't
weird
there.
games. They just
They
weren't
just
there mentally.
they just weren't there. And what this does that I think hurts, it doesn't hurt the Ravens in any way. Who this hurts is the Bengals because
Mm.
they're continuing to lose games. And if it comes down to in the AFC where they could, like, they go on a run and they might, and they're like in the running, what's going to end up hurting them is the Browns are going to win a couple more games.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the in division record that's going to hurt them. Like if they go
Yeah.
on a run, whatever, I just, this hurts the Bengals of anyone the most. Because let's say they do turn it around enough to where the Bengals are like teetering and so are the Browns on the playoffs. The Bengals are out. And then most likely, the Browns aren't going to make the playoffs. But like if the Bengals are up and down and they're like on the edge, this game we'll come back to it. And this will be
Yeah.
what ends up, killing them. But
So, do you have anything you want to say to Dak Prescott and Jerry Jones?
I've made myself pretty clear. Dak is so extremely overrated. He's literally just a CD merchant. Like,
Mhm.
uh, when Ezekiel Elliott is the best running back in your room,
Mhm.
he used to be good, but Jerry has this weird like P. Diddy love affair with Zeke. I don't know what this is, but he's just like loves him to death. He's absolutely washed. CD did what he could
Mhm.
to make it work. 13 receptions, 146, 2 touchdowns. But I mean, Dak Prescott's just a fucking joke. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and like the 243 looks really good.
Yeah.
Like the stat line, if aside from the interceptions, the stat line doesn't look terrible. But it was literally the same story. It was a rerun of Cowboys versus Ravens,
Yeah,
where
this is what we said.
they made a meaningless comeback.
Yeah. This is
So
what we've said multiple times last year and this year about the Cowboys, specifically Dak Prescott. We're like, if you look at the stats, it looks really good. But if you watch the game, you would know that it was just meaningless comeback in the fourth quarter. They just like the teams, for whatever reason, decided to play when time was already
And
out.
look, I mean, if anything, the Lions' hangover extends past bye weeks, because there's no reason they should have lost this game. Like
Mhm.
Jordan Mason goes down.
Yeah.
Debo could barely breathe. He had to take every other playoff. He wasn't on a snap count, but he had to take every other playoff. George Kittle was the number one option tonight. 6 receptions, 128 yards, 1 touchdown. He always shows up against the Cowboys in prime time. But like that was your best receiver. The second best receiver beyond like after Debo and George Kittle, the second best receiver was a guy who got shot in the chest 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey,
like
that was a guy I was thinking about for White Man.
Ricky Pearsall. Like, I mean, shout out to him. It's no dig to him, but like
Mhm.
that was the next best player on the field tonight. And you guys lost. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know. The defense, the Cardinals beat the Niners.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and Brock's not a scrambler, but he was against the Cowboys, which just shows like how much their defense. I was completely wrong. They seemed to have a little bit of fire about them, but then as the game went on, it was like, okay, now Brock Purdy, who's not a scrambler, is looking like Lamar Jackson against you guys. It's just,
I think it's hilarious. We've all but forgot about Micah Parsons.
Mhm.
Like no one said his name at all. And like even during the broadcast, I was listening to it. They mentioned him like once, like, oh,
Yeah.
when they get Micah back, there's going to be a difference. But like he's supposed to be this big impact player where everyone's like, he's a defensive player of the year. And no one's talking about like, oh, when he returns, they're gonna no, like it's not enough because Dak Prescott's your quarterback, and there's no reason he should be the number one paid player in NFL history.
And you gotta be able to run the ball. That's what we've seen this year. This year
Yeah,
has changed into you need to be able to run the ball.
the Cowboys have always like even when they've had mediocre running backs, they've always been the team that has a great O line, so they make their mediocre running backs look good, and they're just even the O line is just bad. I bet they're just I bet Jerry's just doing geriatric shakes right now after he let Noah Brown go, and then he had that moment earlier today. Like
Yeah,
I
and they
don't
could have
know.
gotten Derrick Henry, but
Neither of these teams deserve to win this game, if I'm being honest. Like
I thought
watching this game, like it was just I don't know. Like there were multiple times where I would look up, literally like I swear it would be like 30 seconds. I would look up and I'm like, didn't the Cowboys just have the ball? And then I'd look up and then San Francisco has the ball and someone's dropping a pass. I don't know. This game was really tough to watch.
I
It
don't
was
know.
really
I
tough to
think the
watch.
49ers did quite well for the amount of injuries that they got last week. Last week, like basically half their team went down and they showed up, put up 30 points. The offense looked even better than they did last week, I would say. Brock Purdy has grown a little bit in the regards that he can now run the ball. I would like to see him slide though. He keeps diving forward. I mean,
Yeah.
did we just forget that Tua just did that exact same thing and literally almost died right there on the
Tua tries to spear people, okay? If you watch back like that last concussion he had, he literally just tried to spear. It wasn't even like he tried to lower his shoulder. He literally went
you might
like
be right, but
like oh my gosh. I don't know. This game was just I didn't this game was the least fun I've ever had watching like a Sunday night football game.
I enjoyed it a bit, just a small bit. But I will agree, it wasn't what I was expecting.
It was fun like to see like I genuinely was like, okay, now this is a decision that I don't understand personally.
Mhm.
Why are we taking 3 timeouts before the 2-minute warning?
I
What
don't
was
know.
that?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
I was trying to like understand his thought process of like, okay, you get the ball back with 3 minutes. Even if you give the ball back to them, you're giving the ball back to them potentially with like I don't know if in his mind in his mind after this entire game where they couldn't run the ball or anything, he's like, oh yeah, now we know how to run the ball, so
Mhm.
we're going to run the last 3 minutes off the clock and we're going to go down and score, because it's not like it's a field goal to where like you can spend your 3 timeouts and then
Yeah,
methodically work your way down the field for 3 minutes
yeah,
and then kick a field goal and win the game. You got to go score. And you
yeah.
got to leave yourself enough time to get the ball back and potentially go kick a field goal or something.
Mhm.
So I can't wrap my head around, and now he's a head coach and he's been doing it for way longer than me. So internet, eat my ass. I get it. I'm just a guy. But I can't wrap my head around taking 3 timeouts before the 2-minute warning and then going 3 and out.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know unless it was you were relying on your defense to.
Which the defense has done nothing.
I
Like there
know.
was no signs in this game. The part for me, like if it was any other game, I could get on board. But you have no run game. So there's nothing to me that's like, oh, we're going to run the ball. That's why we're taking the timeout. So we're expected to go the length of the field. Or we're trusting our defense to get a stop for us. Neither of those things were present tonight. So why are we why are we leaving ourselves with our dick in our hand with, like, there was 2 minutes and 40 seconds, if
Mhm.
not more, when the Niners got the ball back. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think it might have been because you have to declare onsides now, right?
Who cares? I don't care. If you
Well,
go
it's
down and
different.
score,
It's different because it boosts the percentage of them like catching it. You can't do a sneaky onside anymore. So maybe he was thinking,
no,
okay, 3 minutes left, 2:40 left. If they score here, they might not be expecting an onside. They could do a little sneaky one and get it.
no, I don't think so.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around it as well. I don't
I
really
don't
get
think
it
so.
because I think the rule that we all kind of understand here is 2 minute warning, and then beyond is when you start burning your timeouts. I think that's pretty common
But there was
knowledge for us
four
common
minutes.
folk.
But there was 4 minutes in the game. Why would you not just take the chance? Like there's 4 minutes in the game, you're rolling. In that instance, that's the moment I would bet on my defense. Not after everything we just went through. That's the moment I bet on my defense to get me a stop so I have all of my timeouts and I can take this game to the wire and then I can go score and then I have the option to either go for two or go to overtime.
Yeah.
And I would just go to overtime in this scenario.
Yeah, I think the normal option is you want to do what you're saying. You got okay, Devin he's going AWOL. He's got to get some stuff off of his chest. All right.
No, dude, I'm so tired of this because what needs the crown jewel of this whole thing, the best thing that can happen for the Cowboys is that Jerry Jones finally gives up and lets someone else take the reins. And then they can trade Dak. They can let all of these garbage players they've filled their roster with on the offensive side of the ball go. And then they can fire this absolute Pillsbury doughboy who has a headset on the sidelines because that was there was there was nothing there was I don't get it like I don't I'm gonna have to look and maybe I'm just insane and I'm completely missing something, but I don't get the decision making in that scenario at all. I don't get the decision making. And also the other thing about this too, by using all of your timeouts, you now have no option to challenge anything.
And they needed it. They needed it for that Brock Purdy touchdown. They needed it for that. Even though
Like
it was
now they can't. Well, yeah, with a touchdown, they're going to review it, and you can't throw the challenge flag. I don't think you can throw it in the last 2 minutes,
I don't
but
remember when it was when they
because I think
scored.
everything's reviewed in the last 2 minutes. But
Yeah, it is.
either way, those 2 minutes where there's a there, I don't know, But beyond this, I can't talk about this anymore because I'm gonna lose my mind. You're not gonna get away without talking about the Broncos and the Panthers, you piece of shit.
I
You
was
thought you were
thinking
gonna
about
slide.
that. I was thinking,
You thought you were gonna slide,
I
huh?
was like,
You're
is he
real
gonna bring
cute.
that up? Yeah.
You're real cute. You're real cute. All
Yeah.
right. Hold this. 28-14. Bo Nix. This is the first half. Okay. This man also pulled one of my fantasy teams from the depths. All right. 36 points. I had a 1% chance going into this game to win my fantasy game in another league. Okay. 1% chance. It was 40 to 100. I finished tonight 113 to 100.
Hell
All
yeah.
right. And,
Hell
and the
yeah.
comeback was spurred by Bo Nix. In the first half, Bo Nix threw for 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown in the first half. Cortland
All in
Sutton,
the second quarter. All in the
yeah,
second quarter.
well, pretty much. But I mean, the first half. Cortland Sutton had 8 receptions, 100 yards in the game. He had 80 in the first half. By the way, he didn't get targeted last week.
Mm.
And then 2 touchdowns to the tight ends because it's National Tight End Week. Bryce Young, this might be the best game he's ever played in a Carolina Panthers uniform. 24 for 37, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Which
You
with
better
that
pay up.
defense.
You better pay up because I'm gonna go and look back at the bets we had. There's like
Yeah.
$100 you owe me.
Yeah,
There's
there's
like
like
$100 you
$100.
owe.
Yeah.
There's like $100 you owe me.
On this
And
game, I think there is $100
yeah,
because we have the
24
season. We have the season one,
yeah,
and then we have this one where they played. Son of a bitch.
28 to 14.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw what was it? It was when did I see this? I saw it was 21-7, and I was like, shit. I was like, there's no way. And I was hoping you would have forgot. I was hoping you would have
No,
forgot because I was like, they got
no.
Xavier Leggett's gonna take the top off defense. Shit, Bo Nix looks fucking good. Shit.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
he does.
Yeah, he
28, 36.
does.
Yeah, he looks flipping fantastic. What does this mean for the next 5 years? Does it like what are you expecting with how good Bo Nix is looking right now? Are you expecting playoff team within 5 years
I expect a playoff team this year.
this year? Yeah, because we talked about it before, and you're like, no, I don't expect it at least until like five
Now,
years and beyond.
I don't expect it, but if everything keeps rolling, like there's no reason we can't be a playoff team. We're 5-3 right now.
5-3.
5-3 heading into week 9. We haven't even hit our bye yet. I mean, like there's no reason we can't make the playoffs. This division, I mean, the Chiefs are obviously going to run away with winning the division, but sliding in at 7 or something like that, Colts dropped this week. So I don't see a reason why we can't if we continue to roll this. Now, I know it's the Panthers. I'm not going to hang my hat on dismantling the Panthers, but
Oh, you just
look, the
reminded me.
defense looks great. We need a weapon. Like
Mhm.
going after this year, I thought we were going to be picking the top 10 again this year. So I was like, oh, we'll get our receiver. We're going to have to trade for one.
Mhm.
There was rumors that we were going to get Cooper Kupp. I don't know
Yeah.
why that was a thing like ever, but we need a well, I don't know, maybe Troutman who popped off this week ends up being the guy, ends up being the tight end. But we need a weapon because Cortland Sutton is good, but he is on the back end of his career. So
He'd be a really good number 2. They just need a number 1
he
too.
would be a really good number 2. Troy Franklin, I can't. I was super hyped about him being brought over with Bo Nix. He's been atrocious. He's had so many balls go through his hands. And then Lil Jordan Humphrey. Again, same thing, just drops. And then, now look, if this is what we're going to get from Cortland Sutton from this point on, then maybe we don't need a number 1 and we can figure it out.
Mhm.
And Pookie Williams has been playing great. Javante, he's been playing great the last couple weeks. So, I mean, if this is what, if not, and we don't need to have 100 yards from Cortland Sutton every week, but 50, 60 to where he's the guy there and he's the red zone threat again. I can see them making a run for it. And honestly, this win to me, taking care of the Panthers again, I'm not hanging my hat on it, but they took care of business.
Yeah.
If I was the front office and I'm looking around the AFC, we're 5-3. The Colts lost today, like I said. The Chiefs are obviously going to win their division. The last 3 seeds in the AFC playoffs are kind of up for grabs. The Bengals are out after today's loss. I don't think they're going to make a miraculous comeback. So if I'm the front office, I go to Sean Payton. I say, what do we need? What
Yeah.
do we need? And we'll figure it out. Like we're not going to be drafting in the top 10 next year.
You got the
So
money.
a first rounder, like we got the money. We have a first rounder that we can throw around. What do you need? What do you want? Let's go get it. Because if there's a shot we can make the playoffs, why not at least make the playoffs and get the experience?
Who's a guy that's not happy right now? Who's a guy who's rumored, young guy rumored not happy? Number 1,
Um,
Jamar.
I'd love that.
He's not happy.
No, we need more. We need more. We'd have to give up more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Like the one that made semi sense was the Rams because they were, spiraling, but that's no
Mhm.
longer a thing. I don't know. Could you get a
I
deal done
mean,
with the Seahawks for DK?
or even Jackson Smith. I mean, I know these aren't number 1s we're talking about, but they're still good wide receivers. There was another name I was going to throw out right before we like Jameson Williams, like number 2s that potentially could be number 1s, or they could at least just
Jamison
elevate.
Williams, Lil Jordan. We have a Jamison Williams.
Uh,
His name is Lil Jordan Humphrey. He just can't catch the ball.
yeah.
So like it wouldn't make any difference for our scheme. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Jordan Addison apparently is like he posted something the other day about like free 3. And
Jalen
he's
Waddle,
in
maybe.
I don't want Jalen Waddle. He's too injury prone. I would like Jordan Addison. If we could get a
Mhm.
deal done for Jordan Addison, I would love that. He's apparently unhappy. Um look,
There is one last thing I want to get a live reaction on because you mentioned the Colts sliding. And
Mhm.
it reminded me, I did have a little segment that I wanted to get a live reaction from you. And this kind of ties into it. How are we going to expect the Colts to get to the playoffs this year?
Oh, and AR's hurt again.
Nope.
Oh,
AR admits he subbed himself out because he was tired today.
when?
Today, versus Houston. He subbed himself out. Joe Flacco came in and he told the media it was because he was tired.
I heard that he hurt his hip again.
That's what it could have been, but maybe
Either
he's
way,
just
it's
he's
not
just
great.
faking. Maybe he's just faking it, but this is what he told the media. He told the media he subbed himself out because he was out of breath.
He was gasping on the broadcast.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But what is that? Do you think he just wasn't conditioning? It's just he hasn't played that many
Yeah,
games.
I think it's that. I think he's just not conditioned. He's coming off of a hip injury, and you can't really condition when you got a hip injury.
Yeah, and he
Um,
spent the entire offseason last year. He wasn't playing. He's just not football ready.
yeah, I don't know. I unfortunately the Colts have a case. I think he's got a case of the Andrew Lucks. Like he's got all the weapons, he's got all the physical attributes, and I think this may be the beginning. Like when he breaks his collarbone 4 games into the year last year, and then he hurts his hip earlier this year. There's rumors he re-injured it here. So it's like, are these things going to start to become chronic?
Mm-hmm.
When you've got it's the same thing as like a Derrick Rose. You know,
Yeah.
Derrick Rose, when you look at his gait and the way that he moved, he wasn't supposed to be as good as he was. He wasn't supposed to be as athletic as he was, and that's what made him so good. Is because it was his gait didn't give you like he was so whatever sporadic. But that's
Mm-hmm.
besides the point. The point is with the same sort of thing here. When you have someone who's such a physical specimen, the same thing of why like Manic Mike tore his pec, right? Your
Yeah.
ligaments can't keep up. Same sort of idea here. You've got such a physical talent, and then you're asking him to do football things and get hit by football players,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just a disconnect between the body, what he wants to do and what his body can handle.
Mm-hmm.
And look, this is the problem with college football is, even when you've got a bad O-line, you're that athletic to where you're not getting hurt.
Yeah.
So, it's unfortunate, but sometimes this is just the way it goes. You take a shot and this is what happens.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to get a quick live reaction. You just reminded me of it, but I think that is everything.
I'm a D1 hater. That's an alcoholic,
Yeah.
and we're buffet sports. Um,
You really flex that muscle. You flex the hate and muscle, and you've been working out. That's all I gotta say. You've been working out.
I hate the NFL. Week 8 sucked. All right. Usually we start the second half of the show, going over Monday night. There's nothing to really talk about aside from Russ came back down to earth, I think, really.
What?
Like
What do you mean?
he wasn't so fantastical. Guys weren't making absurd catches. He had a fumble at the end of the game. That game was way closer than it really should have been. Daniel Jones threw that game away. They very well could have went down and scored and looked like they were going to go down and score to at least make it tie the game up
I
to
thought
go to overtime. So
I don't know. I thought he played a pretty damn good game.
watching it, putting up 9 points in the first half against a Giants team that this game should have been like the end score does not reflect how 3 quarters played. Really look at it. Like going
Yeah.
into the fourth quarter, they were up. It was 7-0 basically going into the fourth quarter. It was 7-0. That's
What do you mean?
embarrassing. Going into the fourth quarter, it was 9-9 at halftime. So coming out of the third quarter, it was 7-0.
They scored in all 4 quarters again. So they're having positive success throughout the entirety of the game.
Okay, but look at literally look. The Giants don't score in the third quarter. That's the game.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That's kind of embarrassing to come out
No,
of the first half
not
against the
for
Giants.
me. Not for me
9-0,
because I
9-9,
predicted
I
a
mean.
low-scoring game. I took the under on this game. So for me, this isn't surprising at all. This is
But
exactly
if you're
what I
Russell
expected.
Wilson, okay, but if you're Russell Wilson and the Steelers, it's a win. But like this game was way
So
closer than it should
for
have been.
you think it's embarrassing because you had the game being a wider margin. For me, I had the game being incredibly low scoring, so
I
it's not
understand.
embarrassing because
I understand that, but coming out of the first half 9-9 in a Giants defense that literally is Dexter Lawrence by himself, it's like
Dexy,
when
baby.
it looks like when we play Madden and you're the Panther and I'm the Giants. Like
Yeah.
that's what this game looked like in the first half. That's embarrassing if I'm me if you're in the red zone and you come away through 3 trips with just field goals against the Giants. That's I mean, you got the job done. Congratulations, but
Mhm.
to me that's not the what you want to see out of a guy that, last week everyone was, licking his nuts. So we don't need to talk about it much more. Neither of
I'm
these
just
guys
saying.
are in my top 10
I
for
know, but
QB
I'm just
runners.
saying.
So it doesn't really matter.
Okay, but like you said, he fell down to earth. Like that is a great stat line for a guy who's only played. This is his second game playing
Yeah, but
back. That is a great stat
that
line.
doesn't show his fumble in the third quarter. That doesn't show the sacks he took that were terrible throughout the rest of the game.
And that's
So,
not his fault that he got sacked. What are you talking about?
bro,
The O
do we
line's
not talk about
responsibility.
but not a lot of these sacks. If you go back and you look at the tape from Denver, same thing. The offensive line was all of a sudden magically, Bo Nix doesn't take sacks. You think that was just like, we didn't make any offensive line moves. You think that was just like, oh, all of a sudden the offensive line got better. No, it's a guy who doesn't take sacks.
Well, he's a deep ball threat, so he needs to hold the ball longer. So it just makes sense that he would be more open for sacks because he throws the ball deeper than most quarterbacks.
Efficiency. That's all I'm going to say. Just wait. Just wait. So,
Okay, as a deep ball threat, he went 20 for 28. Give him a little bit of credit when he's not a dump he's not a dump down check down guy. He's a deep ball threat. 20 for 28. That's still good. All right. Well, let's move on.
okay, let's get into week 9's predictions. We start on Thursday night where the Jets invite the Texans into their dumpster of a city in New Jersey. And this game is way too close. I understand that the Texans don't have Nico Collins. Stephon Diggs is out for the year, but it is the line right now. The Jets are favored -1.5. Obviously on the money line, the under over is 42.5. This is such a gift. I'm taking the Texans on the spread 1.5. This is like a 10-point game,
Well,
dude.
you want to know what happened when Nico got hurt last year, and you want to know what happened? Tank Dell literally looked like a number one wide receiver when that happened. So I'm expecting the same thing to happen, where Tank Dell just starts looking like a brand new Stephon Diggs. So I don't think them losing Stephon is going to do anything because they've been in this position before and they won a lot of games. The big picks here. You want to pick up Dalton Schultz on your fantasy team. I picked up Dalton Schultz on my fantasy team last year. You're going to want to get him if he's there because
Bro,
him and Tank Dell are about to go crazy.
and their defense is going to manhandle the Jets.
Yeah.
So I'll take the Texans on the spread. What do you want?
I don't know. I know what I just said. I know what I just said. All right.
You're gonna get burned, dude. Don't do it. Don't take the Jets. Don't do it. Zane, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. Take the Texans.
I do not have an actual reason to why the Jets will win, but give me the goddamn Jets. I just gotta feel it in my balls. I just have a feeling in my balls. Give me the Jets.
God, okay. Heading to Sunday night, this game has actually now become much better than we anticipated it to be. AR-15, AR-5, whatever his number is. Anthony Richardson subbed himself out at the end of the game because he was tired. So he's been benched, and Nick Sirianni, not Nick Sirianni, sorry. What's the Colts head coach?
Stefanski.
Yeah, whatever his name is. He came out today, announced that Joe Flacco was going to be the starter, and it was not an experiment. This is for the rest of the year. AR has been benched. He's done. So we have Joe Flacco for the Colts, Sam Darnold for the Vikings. Vikings are favored -5.5 on the money line. Under over is 46.5. Part of me wants to go Colts here.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to go Colts here. 5.5 seems wide for this game. But then there's the Vikings defense. And I was looking at the numbers, fantasy-wise, otherwise. The games that Joe Flacco played, Jonathan Taylor wasn't around. So he was winning football games and putting up the numbers he was without a Jonathan Taylor. So that's curious to me of how having a Jonathan Taylor now makes things better because we saw what he was in Cleveland. He didn't have a run game last year.
Yeah.
He has played for the Colts. He hasn't had a run game. Now you give him a Jonathan Taylor. You've still got the other weapons. I'm hyped because I need it for Michael Pittman. That's the
Yeah,
only
for
way he gets
real.
points.
For real.
So, but at the same time, the Vikings defense, it's just going to be, it's an interesting game. I don't know which way to go. Do you have a lean? Because I'm stuck.
I have a lean here. The main problem is what the Indianapolis Colts were supposed to be because you saw it last year. You saw it when they had their backup, a gunslinger, a guy who can really throw the ball. You saw what they can do, and they were almost a playoff team. AR comes in, and now it's like this is one of the worst teams. The defense sucks. There hasn't been that many changes on the Colts side of the ball. They haven't done that many changes at all, except for the quarterback. So
Don't forget about the white to white man connection.
yeah, so you put Joe Flacco, a gunslinger, back in that system. I think you are going to see a different type of offense, a different type of team in general. It's one that can compete to make it into the playoffs. Vikings are sliding. Vikings have slid.
They
I'm
did
gonna
just
take
lose.
I'm going to take Joey Flack, and I'm going to take the Colts on this one.
So you want the money line then plus 198?
Give me plus 198.
I don't know where to go, so I'm going to go strategic here. I'm going to go with you so that neither of us come out of this any special way. Okay, Monday night, we're going to head to Kansas City where the Chiefs play the Bucks. Baker is weaponless. He's naked. He's back against the wall. Chiefs have cornered him.
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre Hopkins is now a Chief. He wasn't that big of an impact. They still won. They've been winning games, not hugely, but they're perfect on the year. Look, 8.5 is wide. That's what the spread is, 8.5. They're obviously favored on the money line. Under over is 45.5. If Baker had the weapons, I would go Baker here. And if he had the weapons, I would just take the over and back the Bucks. But the Chiefs are just too good, dude. Give me the under. I'm backing the Chiefs.
How can I spin this to get me a Baker Mayfield prediction? Let me think. Let me use my brain.
It's small. All two neurons are just rubbing together right now.
Give me the Chiefs.
You want them? Do you want them straight, or do you want to go with me under Chiefs?
Give me the under.
Okay, under back Chiefs. Got it. All right, next one we're going to talk about. This is not a standalone game, but it should be. Honestly, this would be a great Monday night game. Lions go to Green Bay to play the Packers. It's starting to get chilly. Lions are an indoor team, but I'm not really sure it matters. Lions are favored, -3.5 right now. Obviously on the money line, under over is 47.5. Jordan Love went down at the end of the game. They trust him, Malik Willis, so he came in, took care of business. It was the Jags. Meh. I don't think this is a gift to me. 3.5 for the Lions. I'll take that on the spread. Give me Dan Campbell and the boys.
I don't know. We've been talking when we've been making our parlays. We'll be looking up some guys, and one consistency when we're looking is everybody has a down game when they play the Packers with that defense. For whatever reason, that defense seems to have everyone's number. Now, the Lions are rolling. The Lions are the best in the league right now. But Jared Goff has a second personality, and that guy's name is Jared Goof. And he comes out when it's a little chilly outside, all right? He comes out, it's a little chilly outside. But we did see what he could only throw the ball 15 times for 86 yards, and they could put up 51 points. So 52 points. So there's a lot of teetering right here. But I'm going to stick with my gut and the fact that it's going to be in Lambeau. I'm going to take the Packers.
Taking the Packers. You want the spread, or you
Give me
want
the
just
upset.
money line?
Give me the upset on the spread.
You want plus 3.5. Okay, you want plus 3.5. That means you're just take the money line. It's plus
No,
money.
because they're gonna win by a touchdown.
No, because the spread, you're saying that their points plus 3.5, they would win. So you're still saying they would lose.
Just
So
give
you
me
want
the
to take
money line.
money line? Got it. Okay, there you go. There you go. In those situations where you're saying a team's going to win, but they're the
I
underdog,
still
just take
don't
the money line.
understand. You're speaking a Chinese to me right now. I still
Okay.
don't get it.
Hey, it's 20, let's say it's 20 to 21,
Yeah.
okay? And so if you take it's 20 to 21, obviously the team who's 21 was favored by -3, let's say, right? So if you take that, you're essentially saying that erase the points, the 20 to 21.
Okay.
The team that's favored by 3, you're saying their points -3, so you take away 3 of their points, they would still win.
Yeah.
If you go the other way, plus points, you're saying that the losing team plus the points would win the game. So you can say this team's still winning, but by
that doesn't make any sense.
So if a team wins by a touchdown, but you take away 3 points, they still win by 4.
Yeah, I know that.
Team,
I understand that part of it. The
so
plus thing where it's
the reverse side, if a team loses by 1, but it was +3, you add the 3 points to their score, they would have won the game. So you're saying, basically you're saying the favored team's still going to win, but if I gave them these points, the underdog would win. Does that make sense?
So it doesn't matter if I say Bucks. It just matters if I say minus or plus 3.5.
Right. Basically.
So that's where I'm getting confused.
But if
I'm saying I
it,
want this team
yeah,
on the spread, like, okay, I get it.
So then if you're taking upset, you just take the money line because it's plus money.
Yeah. The deciding the team is based on whether I go plus or minus.
Right.
Got it.
Okay. All right. This next game I want to talk about. There's a couple others we could, but I think this one's honestly the most interesting. Cardinals Bears. Cardinals are favored at home, -1.5 on the money line. Under over is 44.5. I am going to stick with my boys. I'm going to take the Cardinals on the money line, -118.
Caleb was pissed. He was so mad when Daniels got that flipping Hail Mary. He was so pissed. He probably had the entire interview that he was going to do already scripted in his head. And then he sees that and he's like, son of a bitch. So I think he's going to take his anger out on the Cardinals. That's what I think. And it's just because
They very well could. The defense is very good and the weapons are there.
The weapons are there. Hopefully it's a shootout so Marvin gets some points. But I will think because Marvin had a good game, Kyler Murray will neglect him and just forget him. Trey McBride, here's 10 balls. Here's 10 balls.
You want to take the upset? The money line plus 100? All right.
Yes, give me the Bears.
Okay, now we have rapid fire the rest of the way down the slate here. We start with the Pats in Tennessee versus the Titans. Titans are favored -3.5, -126 on the money line. Under over is 38.5. But there's something interesting here. So there's the plus and minus, right? But then there's also the odds that come with the plus or minus, right? So they're saying it's more likely, right? Basically, by the odds, they're saying it's more likely that the Pats cover. So they are +3.5. So they're saying that +3.5 they would win, but it's more likely that they cover by saying it's -122 in the odds. So the odds are that the Pats would cover, but the Titans are going to win. So how do you
not listening right now?
I can see it. Your eyes glazed over.
Yeah, I was not listening.
Basically, they're saying that the Titans should win by 3.5, but it's by the Titans are more likely to win, but the Pats are more likely with the points to have won. So,
okay,
there you go. They're saying it's more likely that the Pats cover. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take the 3.5. So Pats plus 3.5 is my pick.
Yeah. Until the Titans put Will Levis back on that fucking field, it's fuck the Titans. Give me the goddamn Patriots.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Give me him back. Put him back.
All right. Next one, we got Saints Panthers. I'm expecting a huge game out of Alvin Kamara. Saints are favored -7.5. Obviously on the money line, under over is 43.5. Give me the Saints -7.5 here. Derek Carr is back. This is a huge bounce back game after Bryce's best game in a Panthers uniform. But unfortunately, they're going to run into a freight train that is waiting to explode here as guys get healthy. So
Yeah,
give me
we've
Saints.
seen what the Saints can be with Derek Carr. They look like a playoff team. Everyone in around media was saying that, so give me the Saints as well.
Okay.
Money line.
Ooh, -350. It's kind of wide.
Who cares?
All right. All right.
Taking betting advice from me. You should see a doctor.
Broncos Panthers. This one's more, or sorry, Broncos Ravens. This is more interesting than I think we give it credit. Ravens are favored -9.5. Obviously on the money line, under over is 44.5. I think this game is more interesting than we think, to be completely honest with you. So I'm going to take the points. 9.5 is wide for me. I think the Ravens win by a touchdown. But I think the Broncos cover in this sense. So I'm going to take the 9.5.
Well, you guys do have a very good pass defense. Problem is, we don't need the pass. We can just run the goddamn ball.
That's true.
Give me the Ravens -9.5.
All right. Raiders Bengals is next. Bengals are favored at home -7.5. Obviously on the money line. Under over is 46.5 here. Fuck the Bengals. Give me the points. Raiders cover 7.5. That seems wide here. Raiders. Bengals, not straight up. Bengals might win this game by a touchdown, but that half a point right there, that half a point's gonna get me the pick here. So give me Raiders +7.5.
Raiders are only good when they're playing one particular team. They've given up everyone else, and then you have gotten scammed because they gave up Devontae Adams, and then they went and they played the Chiefs, which they always show up when they play the Chiefs for whatever reason. So you're like, oh, this is actually a good team. Bengals played the Eagles, got destroyed.
I don't think they're a good team. I think the Bengals are that bad. I think they're overhyping the Bengals in this pick.
I don't think so. I think here's the thing: is the Bengals have a bad defense, but the Las Vegas Raiders do not have an offense. Who's their quarterback? I don't know anymore. Who's their running back? I don't know anymore. Who's their
Alexander
number one wide
Mattison.
receiver? No idea. Who's their tight
Kobe
end?
Myers.
Brock Bowers. Their tight end is Brock Bowers.
Yes.
But I don't know anymore. So give me the Bengals. It's the only thing I do know.
-7.5. All right. Chargers, Browns next up. Browns are actually underdogs at home. +1.5. Chargers are favored -1.5 on the money line, under over 42.5. How you feeling?
I want to go Browns, but I do really, really like how the Chargers are looking lately. But off of hype, I want to go with the Browns. But
So what do you want to take? What are
I
you going to
can't
take?
do it. I saw a video of a flipping Chargers O lineman giving this D lineman when they played the Saints the business. All right. And if that's any indicator on what kind of team this is, let's give me the Chargers.
You want them on the money line or you want it
me on the
-1.5?
money.
It's basically pick them. So fair.
Give me on the money.
You know which way I'm going. Give me the Browns on the money line.
Oh. Oh.
All right,
testing
Finns,
game.
Bills. I don't know if Tua makes it out of this game. Bills are favored at home, -5.5. Obviously on the money line, under over is 49.5. They expect a bunch of points. Look,
I feel like they played already like 3 times. I feel like this is the 3rd time they played this season.
Look, while Tua was gone, the Dolphins evolved into the best pass defense in the league. Obviously they came back and Kyler put up 307, which we're going to talk about in the QB corner. But I think this is pretty straightforward. If it's me, I'm taking the Bills. That's a gift, -5.5. They're going to win this game by 10.
Give me the arrival of Tua Tagovailoa. Give me the comeback of the dead man walking, the grave walker, Tua Tagovailoa. Give me the Dolphins
Walker
on the money line.
Okay, the Grave Walker. That's a good nickname. We're going to start calling him that. Cowboys, Falcons. Falcons are favored at home, -2.5, obviously on the money line, under over 51.5. They expect a bunch of points in this game, and I agree, which is why I'm going to take the over and back the Falcons.
Yeah, I have lost all sorts of faith that I had in Cowboys. Very slim amount, but after that bye week and what they put up, They're awful. Give me the Falcons money line.
Okay. Minus 148. Okay. Giants, Commanders. Giants are underdogs at home, plus 3.5. Mandos are favored on the money line. 44.5 is the under over. Just give me I'm going to take the Commanders on the money line. It's not too wide.
Yeah, if they showed more promise on Monday night, the Giants, I would think about taking them. But I mean, it's a short week for them. Plus, there's some problems with Dayball calling out Danny Dimes in the presser. Just be like, yeah, talk to him. Told him it's all his fault. He agreed it's all his fault. So we're gonna keep going. So I don't know what that QB room is gonna look like. Give me the Commanders.
Okay. All right, we head to Philadelphia where the Eagles invite the Jags in. They're favored at home, minus 7.5 on the money line, and under over is 44.5 here. I don't like. While the Packers should have taken care of the Jags, it's kind of encouraging for the Jags. I don't like the minus 7.5 here. Eagles are kind of fraudulent to me. So I'm going to take the over and back the Eagles.
Give me the Jags.
Straight.
Straight up. Give me the Jags.
All right. Rams, Seahawks, return of the boys. Rams are actually favored away in Seattle in the land of the 12, where allegedly there's stories going around right now that the 12th man is dead, but
12th
whatever.
man is dead. Bill's Mafia infiltrated. Got in there with
So
snipers.
Seahawks are underdogs at home, plus 1.5. Rams are favored on the money line. Under over is 48.5. So they expect a good amount of points in this game. I like the Rams straight up on the money line. I think the 1.5 is a gift, but I'll just take the 126 straight up just in case.
Yeah, I'm a Matthew Stafford fanboy. Seeing him with his boys back just makes me happy. It fills me with joy. The only time I don't enjoy watching the Lions is when they're playing the Rams. So give me the Rams, obviously. Fuck the Seahawks.
And that concludes our predictions for this week. I'm feeling bold. A lot of my picks are bold, but I'm feeling good about it. I think we're going to see some things happen this week. Ladies and gentlemen, this is QB Corner, where Zane and I rank the top 10 quarterbacks from the previous week going into the next week based on statistical greatness, the feeling in our balls, and level of difficulty. This is QB Corner. Let's jump in. All right. So you're going to hate this, and I'm not sure you're allowed to speak during this entire segment because we got some atonement to do for some of the shit you were talking last week. So you can go.
Well, last week they did.
No.
Last week they sucked. I know where you're going with this. Last week they sucked ass.
Be quiet.
This week they have a great. Hey, based on what I was saying, they have the stats that I was talking about to get put up there. Hey, all right, they don't have the same stats that they had.
Listen,
they have the stats.
I'm not sure you're allowed to talk during this segment, so I'm going to give my top 10, read off the statistics here, and then you can chime in. And look, a lot of my boys did well this week. A lot of my boys did well. So starting number 1, I'm going to go Matthew Stafford here. Is my number 1. He was 25 for 34, 279 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, beat a Vikings team that's very good with his boys coming back. So that's my number 1. I've got Jameis Winston at 2. Jameis threw for 27 of 41, 334, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Jalen Hurts, I have it 3. Lick my balls. Hurts was 16 for 20, 236, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. But oh yeah, he's a rushing quarterback. And guess what he did on the ground? 10 carries for 37 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's my number 3. 4, I have Kirk Cousins. This one was kind of tough for me, the 4 spot, but I landed on Kirk here versus the Bucks. 23 of 29, 276, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And then we'll give out the 5th one, and then we'll see what you think of the 5, and then I'll go with my last 5. Josh, I have at 5 here. Josh Allen, 24 of 34, 283, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception versus the Seahawks. That defense is kind of up and down, but that's my top 5. How do you feel hearing the stats, seeing where we are?
Now hear me out. Trevor Lawrence. I didn't
play
the Packers defense.
I didn't write him down, but I don't think he's top five. There's too many guys that won for him to be top five.
Do you want to see his stats?
Yeah, let's see what his stats are, but I don't
Okay.
I don't have him in top five for sure. 308, 2, 1.
Versus the Packers. Level of difficulty, statistical greatness.
But just wait till you hear the rest of the guys.
All right.
How do you feel about the top five?
I like it. What was Matt's stats again?
279, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception.
I'd switch him with Jameis. Jameis didn't throw a pick, and he beat the Ravens.
And level of difficulty.
Yeah, he beat the Ravens.
I'm fine with that if you want to switch him. Okay.
Look
All right.
at him. Look at him. He deserves it. He looks good right there.
All right. My final five here.
Honestly, but real quick, I would put Jalen farther down because it's not his ability to run, it is the tush push when it comes to the skill aspect of him running.
I don't know.
It's up to you, though.
Okay,
It's up to you, though.
we'll come back to it here. My last five here. I've got the next two are interchangeable. Well, the next four are kind of interchangeable to me. So I have Bo Nix at 6. He was 28 for 37, 284, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 5 rushes, 4 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. It was just kind of a reach over. But in the first half, again, he put up 220 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and had that 1 reach over rushing touchdown. So that's why I have him at 6. It was the Panthers, so I can't put him higher, but he went nuts in the first half. The next one I have is Jaden Daniels at 7. I have him 21 for 38. He was playing a Bears defense that was very good. 236, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. That touchdown was insanity, but there's a bit of luck involved in it. It's not like he threw a dart.
That's where the feeling in our balls comes in, right? He gets there because it's crazy.
Yeah, he gets there because it's crazy, but he only threw 1 touchdown. So it's like, whatever. Rushing wise, 8 rushes, 52 yards, no touchdowns. 8. I have Kyler Murray at 8. 26 for 36, 307, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Got a little bit of scrambling on the ground, 19 yards in 5 rushes.
This is going to be funny once you're done reading these.
CJ, I have at 9. This one was kind of tough for me, but I have CJ at 9, 25 of 37, 285, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Got the job done against the Colts. And then I have Patrick Mahomes at 10, 27 for 38, 262, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. It's the Raiders, but they're perfect, and he's the quarterback. So he's got to be here.
So I understand that, like, after so many weeks, we kind of get tired of Jared Goof's like stat. Like, it is crazy, but after it becomes consistent, it becomes less crazy. So I understand him, but Lamar
and Baker were my other ones where I was like, you could throw him in there, but Lamar also lost to the Browns.
Yeah, and then Baker lost as well, and
Baker lost to the Falcons. Baker, I have in here, I wrote him down, 37 of 50, 330, 3 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions there. Mm-hmm. I know he doesn't have his weapons, but I could see you putting him up into the bottom 5. But
you like runners, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy had a credible game on the feet.
What did he do? I didn't have either the I didn't have Dak or Brock in there because it was just like I said.
Because you watched the game and you didn't like what you saw.
I just didn't like it. Didn't like Brock's game. Just didn't look great.
From passing, 260, 1 TD.
0 interceptions. And then what did he have on the ground?
Jesus Christ. Am I going in a loop? I went in a loop.
Yeah,
I went in a fucking loop. No, it's right here.
There you go.
But we got to go to 8 for 56.
8 for 56. 1 touchdown.
1 rushing touchdown. Yeah. I mean, that's.
Yeah, I guess you could put him in there. I would, if I had to slide one of my guys in the bottom 5 out, it would be probably CJ. And then I would I keep Mahomes at 10. You could put Brock at 9.
Like that. And then he'll be honorable.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's where it's going to get a little crazy. And then you're going to freak. Kyler Murray's got to move up.
Okay.
He threw for 308, didn't he?
307. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He should be but where does he move up? Because these guys all threw for 200, right?
Yes. Jaden threw for over 300. But he had the one touchdown. Bo threw for 284, and then Josh threw for 283.
So where would you put him?
I don't know because I don't know how to feel about the Dolphins defense, if it was fake or not. That's my only thing. That's why I have him below those guys, because I mean, if you want to slide him above Bo because he's playing the Panthers, I'm
Well,
fine with that.
I
But
want to just
under
look at their schedule and who they played when they got that.
It was Colts, Patriots, Titans, Seahawks.
okay,
So yeah, so their defense isn't that great. They were playing the Titans, the Patriots, and then the Colts. So
okay.
it's not that Dolphins defense not that great, but I would put him in front of Bo because Bo is the Panthers. Like
If you want to put him above Bo but under Josh, I'm fine with that, because I do think that the Seahawks are more of a task than the Dolphins are. I think Geno's like far and away better than Tua. That's like not hate. That's just straight up. Like I think Geno's a genuine like top 10 quarterback if we're just listing them out.
And is there any room in your heart for Tua in an honorable mention?
Sure. If you want to put him honorable mention, but he's not getting into the top 10.
I think he threw for like 268 or something like that.
Yeah, but I can't. Like if we're going honorable mentions, Baker's got to go ahead of him.
Yeah.
Jared Goff's got to go ahead of him. Lamar's got to go ahead of him. He lost to the Cardinals, and I know I say that they're a
You just
playoff
said
team.
it, but
I know that they're a play. I know that I think they're a playoff team, but like, come on. You have Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert, and Kyler has James Conner and a rookie Marvin Harrison Jr. Basically James
Trey
Conner.
McBride.
Yeah.
Yeah, only thing, Trevor. I do want to push Trevor like at least to like that. This is so it goes here. There's so many guys in C. I'm not going to move them all, but we'll say these two are honorable mentions. I'd say.
Yeah, and
Play
if you
the
want to put
Packers.
Baker, if you want to put Baker and
Yeah, put
Goff in there
Baker.
too, you can. I would put Baker and then Goff.
I want to put Golf this year. I mean, this week, just because it was only 86 yards, even though like they played an incredible game. Yes, but it's just because it's been so consistent that he throws like super low
I know,
yards,
but 85,
touchdowns.
3 touchdowns is nuts.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Like if you want to put him there, I'm fine with that though. If I'm good with that, I'm fine if you want to put Jameis there. I personally think level of difficulty is higher. Well, no, not even, because who does Jameis even have? He doesn't have Amari Cooper anymore.
Cedric
Just has
Tillman and Njoku.
Cedric Tillman and Njoku. Yeah. So
And then
I guess,
Nick Chubb, but Nick Chubb only rushed for around 80 yards.
Yeah,
So
and
he
they
wasn't
beat the-
even. Yeah, he
beat the
wasn't
Ravens.
that
So yeah, okay, I'm fine with it. So we've
Yeah.
got Winston,
Big
Stafford,
boy.
Hurts, Kirk, Allen, Murray, Nix, Daniels, Purdy, Mahomes. That's the 10 honorable mentions. CJ, Trevor Lawrence, Baker, and Goff are honorable mentions. If you want to throw like you could throw like Lamar and Russ in there, I guess, if you want, for honorable mentions. But
that was I was gonna make a case for Russ too, but I mean, once you started reading them out, yeah, I guess. I mean, he
hey,
still
look
had
at
a
that.
good
The
game.
rookies are really fucking good, man.
I know it was crazy at the beginning of this. We're like, wow, they fucking stink. They smell like horse manure, and then now look at them, all three of them right there. Well, except for Caleb, just because he lost.
Yeah.
Still had
All
a great
right.
game.
There's our QB corner, ladies and gentlemen. This was a good one. We manhandled this meeting for the last one. We're gonna film a part, and then from there on, it's together. It's gay stuff. I'm Devin. That's Zane, and this is Buff A Sports. If you want to see more of our ugly faces, go ahead and find us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at buffet.sports. We post every day, if not twice a day, and long form 3 days a week. We love you, and I don't care what you say in the comments. Bye.
Bye.